Hello everyone. There is something I wish to share with you guys here and on agriculture, and it's on reasons why farming is unprofitable for most startup farmers. So, based on my conversations with some startup farmers, I've discovered that these startup farmers claim that what makes them spend a lot and what causes the agriculture to be unprofitable is on the aspect of production. Before I dive into that, there is something called an agri value chain. Within that chain, the very first step is production. You could be producing meat, you could be producing animals or plants. So if you are let's focus on just one aspect. So let's say you are producing plants, let's take for example maize. So the very first aspect is production, that's maize. Next aspect is pre-treatment. There are other sub steps, but let's just look at the main ones. The next aspect is pre-treatment. So after producing your maize, you harvest the maize and then you pre-treat the maize, right, with chemicals so that weevils and all that should not attack it. After the pre-treatment, after a period of time, you might choose now to preserve it and set it at that level like that, or you continue. After the pre-treatment, you have what you call food processing. You can sell it to companies who want to process it, and after the processing, for example, you can grind it into corn flour. After corn flour, you have storage. You package it into storages. After that, you have it inside cartons. That is proper packaging. After that, now you have logistics, which is transportation from the market, from the farm rather, or from the company to the market, or the consumers or the buyer. So farmers produce every day. Food is being produced every day. The problem is the food leaving from the farm to the market. And I think there are some key factors that affect farmers or startup farmers as concerns um, this aspect if you look at the agri value chain. So the very first thing I want us to look at is, based on my opinion, is limited or bad road access or road networks. This is something that we should not really debate much on. The road networks are really terrible, and because of the roads, these farmers spend a lot to transport their produce from where they are, from where the food is to where it is supposed to be sold or consumed. The next key aspect is um, unstable market access and pricing. Unstable market access and pricing. Let's take for example in a place like Bamenda. In a place like Bamenda, the prices of things fluctuate a whole lot, and I think one of the key things that influences price fluctuation is, let's take this one aspect. We have fuel. If the price of fuel goes up, transportation increases, the unit price of whatever was to be sold for maybe 500 francs has been doubled or increased to maybe that's 1000. That's 100% increase. That's over 100% increase if I'm not mistaken. And we have other factors as well. The next factor I want us to look at is limited coordination um, between the consumers, the buyers, and the transporters. The coordination, the communication between these three parties is really, really limited. Sometimes they talk with the transporters, the startup farmers, they talk with the transporters and it ends there. Or they talk with the buyers and it ends there. They fail to communicate with the transporters. Some of them fail to communicate with the transporters and all that. So if something happens along the way, and one other important aspect is that on storage and preservation. There are so many storage and preservation techniques online now, both both traditional and modern techniques, but majority of them have not even been exploited. Let's take, for example, this rising one that is being used in Nigeria now. We have what is called the charcoal cooler. It's very traditional, it's even homemade, it's very easy to make, and it stores farm produce for a considerable period of time, and it's cheap to maintain. So they use it and they preserve food, but because we lack this awareness, and on other technologies as well, we don't really, you know, adapt this to our farms, as they don't really adapt this to their farms as startup farmers to, you know, um, minimize food loss. When you minimize food loss, it also increase your profits because more food is being preserved and more is being sold, less is being lost. So I think these are some key points why farming is unprofitable for startup farmers in Cameroon. I know that there are more reasons, so you can drop them in the comment section and we talk more about them over time. Peace and out.